Natalie is a high-class escort who maintains a carefully controlled life. The film opens with her visiting a client's hotel room after he finishes a business call. A peculiar man walks around in a large adult diaper, illustrating the kind of odd situations Natalie encounters in her line of work. Natalie, composed and professional, removes her coat and waits patiently for her client. After completing her job, she leaves the room as she rides in a cab, removes her wig, and gazes out at the bustling city as lost in thought about the life she's chosen, while Mitch is introduced as a journalist whose career is in shambles. His personal life is no better. Mitch avoids serious relationships and seeks fleeting connections through a dating app, preferring the ease and detachment it offers. His best friend, concerned about Mitch's well-being, sets him up on a blind date with Mila, a polite but uninterested woman. Mitch, however, is not ready for a traditional date and hides in the bathroom to avoid the situation, a sign of his deep-seated commitment issues. One evening, Mitch's life takes an unexpected turn when he meets Natalie at a bar. She offers her escort services for $3,000 a night, but Mitch, not accustomed to paying for companionship, reacts rudely. To his surprise, he insults her, suggesting she should find another line of work. Natalie calmly reveals that she is a graduate of a prestigious university, which challenges Mitch's preconceived notions and leaves him somewhat shocked. Mitch's world begins to crumble when his boss decides to fire him during a company downsizing. Mitch, unlike some of his colleagues, has no intimate connection with his boss, which seals his fate. This blow to his career sends him spiraling into depression, eroding what little confidence he has left after weeks of wallowing and self-pity. Mitch resolves to find a new job but is met with rejection after rejection. Every editorial office he approaches either dismisses him outright or offers him unpaid positions, which only deepens his despair. Even a fashion magazine where he had hoped to reinvent himself turns him down, deeming him unprofessional, irrelevant, desperate, and inspired by the idea of working for a glossy magazine. Mitch recalls his encounter with the intelligent and attractive Natalie. He sees an opportunity. An article about the life of a high-end escort could be his ticket back into the journalism world. However, there's one major obstacle. Mitch doesn't have the money to pay for Natalie's time. Undeterred, he tracks her down at a bar, but his suspicious behavior raises alarms. The bartender, wary of Mitch, suspects he might be a policeman forcing Mitch to awkwardly try to prove otherwise. When Mitch finally meets with Natalie, he pitches his idea that he wants her to be the subject of an in-depth article. Initially, Natalie is resistant. She has carefully guarded her personal life and has no desire to expose it to the public, especially not in a way that could jeopardize her privacy or her work. However, after considering the potential benefits, she reconsiders and agrees to help Mitch on one condition. He must shadow her constantly, getting an authentic glimpse into her life. Their arrangement begins, and Mitch is soon shocked to discover that Natalie also works as a math tutor for troubled teenagers, a far cry from the image of an escort he had in his mind. This revelation complicates Mitch's perception of her, showing him that Natalie is much more than just her profession as they spend more time together. Mitch meets Natalie's best friend, who is the one who originally introduced her to escorting. The friend explains that Natalie was drawn to the money and the relatively easy work, though she insists that Natalie plans to quit once she saves enough to invest in her own business. As the days go by, Mitch and Natalie develop a strong bond. Their friendship deepens as they share experiences and insights about their lives. Mitch learns that Natalie often fakes orgasms during her encounters to earn better tips, a practice that she feels is necessary to maximize her income despite the challenges of her job. Natalie remains composed and focused on her goals. One evening, their relationship takes a dramatic turn when Mitch is forced to step in and protect Natalie from inappropriate advances by some men at a bar during the confrontation. Natalie realizes that Mitch has been doubling as her bodyguard, shielding her from difficult clients without her fully realizing it. Revelation strains their relationship as Natalie begins to question Mitch's motives later. Natalie becomes suspicious of Mitch's behavior, noting that he frequently receives and sends messages to someone curious and slightly paranoid. She decides to follow him, eventually discovering that Mitch is using a fast dating app to meet women for quick, emotionless encounters. This revelation disappoints Natalie, who realizes that Mitch is struggling with his own issues relating to intimacy and connection, despite their growing tension. Mitch asks Natalie to pretend to be his girlfriend during a visit to his family. Mitch is desperate to dispel the perception that he is obsessed with casual hookups, and he hopes that presenting Natalie as his girlfriend will create the illusion of stability in his life. The next morning, they travel to Mitch's family's country house, where it becomes clear that Mitch's father, Charles, is a wealthy man who once had a career in sports. Charles is now focused on raising Mitch's younger sister, Emily, and both are charmed by Natalie, completely unaware of her profession as an escort. During the visit, Mitch tries to ask his father for financial help, but Charles refuses unbeknownst to Mitch. Natalie overhears their conversation and gains insight into Mitch's financial struggles as they drop Emily off to meet her friends later. Mitch and Natalie spend time together, during which Natalie opens up about her past. She reveals that she had a bright future ahead of her, having received a top-tier education. However, her love for physical intimacy and a scandal involving a list of her sexual partners that was leaked by envious classmates derailed her life. The scandal damaged her reputation to the point where she couldn't secure a job, leading her to become an escort. That evening, Mitch and Natalie pick up a tearful Emily, who has been bullied by her friends, in a bid to defend Emily. Natalie mistakenly confronts the wrong group of teenagers, leading to an awkward situation that ends in her hasty retreat later as they settle in for the night. Mitch and Natalie share a moment of vulnerability. The spark between them ignites, leading to a passionate encounter that changes the dynamics of their relationship. The next morning, Natalie drops Mitch off at his place and, aware of his financial troubles, discreetly gives him some money. As Mitch grapples with his growing feelings for Natalie, he realizes that his usual approach to relationships no longer satisfies him. He has fallen in love with Natalie and wants something more meaningful to show his commitment. Mitch seeks her out at a clinic where she is getting a health checkup and is determined to be there for her. However, their relationship faces further challenges. Mitch's best friend expresses concern and disapproves of Mitch's romantic involvement with someone like Natalie. Despite the pushback, Mitch continues to pursue Natalie. Even as his jealousy over her work intensifies, he struggles with the fact that Natalie continues to see other clients, which strains their budding romance soon. Mitch's friends and family intervene, staging a mini-intervention to encourage him to undergo therapy for his dependency on casual relationships. Mitch, however, is not ready to face his issues head-on and instead meets up with Natalia to watch her interact with clients. When Mitch sees a particularly rude man, he loses control and violently assaults the client. This outburst deeply disappoints. Natalie and the two have a heated argument that reveals the psychological scars they are carrying. Their painful realization that they are both using their behaviors to escape their emotional wounds is painful. Following this in ENT, Mitch and Natalie drift apart. Natalie continues her work, serving her clients with the same professionalism as before, while Mitch spirals further into despair. He attempts to write an article about Natalie and the escort industry, but the process is grueling, and he spends weeks agonizing over the content. When he finally completes the article, he returns to the fashion magazine's office, not to submit his work, but to resign. His decision surprises his editor, who had previously encouraged him to pursue this career. Mitch, however, is now afraid of the potential repercussions of publishing such a personal and revealing piece. Despite his internal turmoil, Mitch cannot let go of Natal. In a heartfelt confession, he tracks her down at a dating room, interrupting a meeting with a married client to speak with her alone. Mitch admits his love for Natalie, but she is too hurt and conflicted to respond, feeling rejected. Mitch leaves, believing their relationship is over. Several months later, Mitch publishes his article about Natalie, which captivates readers and becomes a bestseller in the world of glossy magazines. The article's success marks a turning point in his career, but it also represents his personal growth. Meanwhile, Natalie manages to secure a respectable job where her education and skills are valued over her past. The company's boss is sympathetic to Natalie's background, especially since her own daughter has faced online bullying, making her more understanding of those who have been unfairly judged by society. Mitch, having undergone therapy to address his childhood traumas and dependencies, reconciles with his father, acknowledging their shared flaws, and comes to terms with the fact that he needs to fight for his happiness rather than running from it. Shortly after this realization, Mitch meets Natalie again, having read his article. Natalie is moved by Mitch's honesty and vulnerability. She confesses her love for him, but unsure of how he will respond, she begins to walk away. However, Mitch stops her, realizing that he cannot let her go. He pulls her into a passionate kiss, signaling that he is ready to commit to a relationship with her, despite the complexities and challenges they might face in the final moments of the OV. Mitch and Natalie decide to start a new chapter together, both having grown from their past experiences. They acknowledge that their relationship is unconventional, but support each other as they transition. End the movie. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our other recaps and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.